the Facebook conference here in the Netherlands?
Oh, it's really interesting. It's great hearing some of the content in English and others in Dutch, which I'm trying to learn on the fly, which is not easy. But maybe someday, maybe by the end of today, I'll have it down pat. But yeah, it's great content so far. Really interesting speakers and good stuff.
Cool. You just came off stage. What's your key takeaways from your presentation?
Well, I think the key takeaways are that Facebook Graph Search, even though it's not widely used today, will be. It's going to be a big deal as soon as there's mobile integration, and so I think marketers really need to be ready for that and sort of prepare their Facebook like profiles and pages and locations for that, and populate the metadata that will get them highly ranked in Graph Search. And of course, the search engine marketing, paid search engine marketing is coming on Facebook. So that means it's really going to be beneficial to brands and performance marketers to put their search and social teams together, where they can actually use the shared learnings to influence what the other team is doing. And actually, I would say go so far as to have shared budgets and shared goals between search and social, shared bonuses, everything, so that this team really does work together, and you can move money back and forth between the platforms as you're getting the better ROI on one channel or another.
Interesting. What would you say is the main challenges for Facebook marketers now in 2014?
Well, I mean, the main challenge for Facebook marketers is it costs a lot of money now, right? You get very little marketing for free on Facebook today, and not every marketer has their ROI calculations down pat. Not everyone's doing attribution analysis, not everyone's doing media mix modeling, not everyone's doing even basic ROI calculations from Facebook. And so that means it's hard to justify the increased spend for a lot of marketers because they haven't been sort of laying the foundation of really good analytics to prove the value of Facebook. And I think that's especially problematic and unfortunate actually for those who haven't kind of proved that social ROI, because the ROI is really good for people who can measure it, and we're seeing actually a lot of really great examples of people making really big revenues and really large percentage ROI from Facebook. And so it's a shame for those who are being kind of left behind by that transition is a problem.
Yeah. So you work for Adobe. Mm-hmm. What's Adobe's role in the whole social space right now? Where are you guys going? What kind of projects do you have, and what kind of things you're focusing on in terms of the social marketing sphere?
Cool. Yeah, great question. From an Adobe perspective, everything we're doing these days is oriented around the Adobe Marketing Cloud. And so what we're trying to do is make the products better by making them work together at a much deeper level. So true integration between our different product suites. In the past, you might have had one tool that does your on-site social engagement, like communities and forums and stuff like that. You would have had a social media management system that does your listening and moderation and community management and social publishing. Then you might have also had a separate social ads tool, right? And sometimes even also separate social analytics tools. And some brands were even using different moderation tools than publishing tools. And so what we're really seeing in the marketplace is that there's this real drive towards integration and actually having one tool, we hope the Adobe Marketing Cloud, that can manage all of that for you. The entire social ecosystem, as well as the rest of the digital marketing ecosystem in one place. It saves a lot of time, which is a good thing, but it also improves ROI because the data from all the different tools reinforce each other, and I think that's even more important. It's not really so strongly related to social, but on the paid advertising front, we've seen an average of 16% better ROI when people integrate their analytics with the Adobe Media Optimizer, right? People who are using both Adobe Analytics and AMO, as we call it, Adobe Media Optimizer, are seeing a 16% uplift immediately just by being able to understand which ads are being related to which page views on the site.
Yeah.
That's a huge, huge uplift. That completely justifies going through the extra effort to integrate these tools. Because like those kind of performance improvements are really hard to find in this day and age.
Yeah.
And so that's really our vision for the future is deeper integration and better use of data so that all of the marketing data reinforces the different, the different modes of marketing you're doing.
Yeah. Last question. So for all the Facebook marketers out there, what's the single most important thing they should focus on this year? A tough question, I know.
Well, that's a tough question. So, but I would say, if you are a performance marketer, right? If you do direct response marketing of any kind of e-commerce, retail, anything like that, I think it's custom audiences and FBX. If you're not doing that, what are you doing? Like, just leave the building now. Like, you have to do that.
Yeah.
The ROI is great, right? And if you are a brand marketer, advertiser, brand marketer, FMCG, finance, those types of things, I think you need to really be looking hard at understanding the relationship between social's impact on the brand and the downstream effect on revenues, which are hard to measure. They're not contiguous journeys, but you need to get that infrastructure in place to start measuring. I mean, we're doing a lot of investment in terms of the products we're building and the features we're releasing to help people measure that. And so I think for brand, you got to start answering that question because you're going to have to pay more and more for your brand engagement. So you have to know how much it's worth if you're going to pay more. And for performance, custom audiences and FBX, because there's just too much revenue to be made using them to not be using them.
Cool. Thanks so much for your time, man.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.